the eye of the storm. The defenses are lowered. You are free to... Join me above, quickly. A power is come upon us. Take shelter. This gale would disintegrate you. Protect yourselves!
Assassins, earn your place atop the 9 houses. Bring me the one in White's head.
Give you light.
The lesson learned. Never send killers to do a soldier's errand. I am powered deep
Protect yourselves! Protect yourselves!
Again, ape! Your city will lie in dust!
I had hoped to reach a more diplomatic solution than martyrdom. But I forgive them. Aggression is all demons have known. They are abandoned children. Feral children, grown spiteful with longing for what they cannot possess. They glimpse your world through the cracks. They are summoned and prostituted by gutter mages, amateurs, who know nothing of these iron shores. So you see, contrary to popular literature, it is humanity that corrupted demonkind. Irony as bitter as machine oil. I dedicated myself to raising these dire devices. I have been tireless. There is no day, nor night, nor the passing of seasons here. Time itself withered and died. I, and those with the courage to believe in my ideal, have worked factory eons to rebuild. This city, it is my monument. It is our age's beacon, and in its awesome light, no demon shall look upon itself and be wanting. You understand how this rebellion threatens everything. I have shown them we can manufacture paradise, yet still they lust for Earth. I bid you adieu.
You're a long way from home, and not quite dressed for the occasion. Your superiors, they did explain it is cold in the Carpathians, huh? No matter. First we deal with the vampires, then the frostbite. Do not presume you know what to expect from vampires, from your movies, your games. The reality is dirtier. There is no superstition in my homeland, only reality. We grow up knowing to fear the night. Now the night fears me. Strange how life turns out. This valley was a refuge for all creatures. The forbidden, the lost, the forgotten. Such things whispered of in my grandmother's time. Today, it is a battlefield. I wonder, who would upset such a sanctuary? It is a very convenient crisis, if something needed to be buried out here, or unearthed. But the Council does not ask me to think, only to rally the troops. You see, the air is thick with stories on smoke. You should follow both to their sources. We make a big deal of folk tales. One brought me love. It's a sweet story, you know. Another blinded my eye. Not so sweet. Let's see what fortune they have for us now. This is not ideal for me, you know, standing back and directing others. To be an observer for the Council of Venice can feel like a mother's punishment. If you call what we do a career, mine began young and with the Templars. They have long ties to old countries, not necessarily good ties. In some stories they are the defenders, in others the looters. Either way, where there is a Balaur, there will be a horseman who rides out to face it. Or in my example, a horsewoman. Blades against darkness, whatever the cost. Now I only have to look in the mirror to be reminded of the cost. It was the seal on my diplomatic fate. You can wear a scar with pride, but always questions. Questions. So in Venice, I sit and take afternoon coffee with all the ladies in oversized sunglasses. My thanks go out to high fashion. You do not need to hide your powers from the Harbareshti. These people know the secret world, not ours of rules and regulations, but the one they have lived in every day, where it is no different from day turning to night. They are Vampires, unattached, raised by wolves or born under strange stars. Everyone. I think if you know they would be persecuted by the modern world. The rest simply have no care for it. Fairies that do not believe in humans. They have no reason to trust us, but we are lucky that now they have no choice. The Council knew there was always danger the town would be discovered, exploited. It was on a list, a long list that gets shorter each year. Nothing was decided. Nothing was done. Let us try to live to regret that. Always some great tragedy that brings me back home. Never to celebrate the spring for a family wedding, to drink with old friends until the morning. I neglect that life now. Romania is a beautiful country, truly under the watch of saints. I suppose you knew it only for vampires, if you knew it at all. Don't feel bad. This visit would not change your opinion, I fear. I sensed it was different on my first night back. In the cities, the youth and the drugs and the vampires are mixing to bad effects. Too many disappearances, and they blame foreigners, mobsters, this morning light religion. Behind it all, the feeling that something slowly is breaking apart and might never be fixed again. It grew stronger the closer I came to Harbareshti. I know the Council cannot act on my feelings, but this valley could be more important than anyone realizes. Is this not what you signed up for? To play a part in a medieval siege, like in old history? The villagers say the walls of Harba Boreshti held against the Golden Horde, the Templars, the Soviets. A peaceful resistance. A nice idea. Between you and I, that won't work again. In Siege, the attackers starve out the defenders. Is it not true? Here, the attackers are starving. The blood hunger drives them, hard and strong. They will not stop. A single vampire killed 30 people in Cluj-Napoca, where I come from. One night, one vampire. It now sleeps under a churchyard with an iron spike through its skull. We do not have enough soil in the churchyard or iron in the houses to seal all of these away. I've done the math. Look how the ghouls are gathering for the feast, sniffing out the dead and the abandoned. Yet, the walls still hold. Some old saint or miracle smiles down on this village for us to have made it this far. I should like to drink to his health.
Norse left this village a long time ago, there are not many of us left. But enough to stand up and fight. I have fought long enough. I only want to escape. I have fought long enough. I only want to escape.
The real threat lies beyond the forest, up in the mountains. Beyond the fields lies the forest. It is a forest of shadows. Do not go there. We have always lived close to the magical world here. But this is too close for comfort. Vampires, werewolves, Blajini, forest god, fauns. Where does it end? With angels and demons? I was always warned about the forest. Most left this village a long time ago. There are not many of us left, but enough to stand up and fight.
I must not allow myself to become professionally detached from what is happening. I think that is the line between the scientist and the doctor, yes? The scientist would observe that these vampires sustain themselves with blood. He reasons that imperfections can be introduced to blood. Once initially transmitted, it could become endemic. And to introduce this disease, he could rationalize vaccinating the innocent. This is a scientific study. The morality is a side effect. You know, I considered this action myself. I could not undertake it. I hope it marks the space between my father and I. A man I believe cared only for scientific validation. And still I scrabble in the muck to find his work. The Red Hand's work. I must know. I must know how far he was prepared to go and for what. So I can understand how to never make that mistake. And at last bury his stinking memory. 2 new strains of rabies today. For that we can apparently thank the Varkolak. The werewolves, as you would call them. The wounds from the vampires are clean and shallow, but these are deep and fester. I have seen them before, last year in a village not far from here. They called it Varkolak. I recorded it as a wild animal attack. A good doctor to these people accepts the superstition, yes, but he diagnoses the facts. Once I saw a corpse unearthed and its ribs split with a pitchfork so it would not rise up and spread fever. There was no fever that year. I considered it a placebo. And now it has come to this. There is no place here for rational men. But I will not leave the injured. That is the fact. Yes, I have stopped taking case notes. It is simpler that way. You people have very impressive recuperative powers, yes? Something about you that quickens all the body's little miracles. I could not call it unnatural. It seems to me that it is more an acceleration of nature. Of course I have a curiosity, how could I not? It is healthy to be fearful of what goes against scientific understanding, but for the moment, it is simply a relief. You are very hard to kill. Your injuries do not require constant attention, and you are on our side. So I'm asking no questions. And you can be assured I take my doctor's oath very seriously. It seems that secrets carry well in my family.
I once played a part in something important. Do they still tell stories about me? Now they water us with their tears and blood. Do they still tell stories about me?
Hello, please take a seat. Can I get you something to drink? Go on, take a seat.
I do believe our guests receive their sustenance from more arcane waters, Lady Sophie.
Don't mean they don't drink ale, do it? It's on the house for as long as it lasts. Please forgive Mr. Staghead. He's not in the best of moods, poor thing. Having lost home and hearth.
Home, hearth, my kingdom, the forest. All of it succumbed to parasites. To filth. Our world is coming apart at the seams. The end is folding in on us.
No more drink for you, sweet. You only get melancholy, and we don't need that now. Not when you're about to help me with the ad.
Her skin radiant, pure and white as winter's dawn over Arcadia lost. She is Eve, born of the earth, not of man. Plump as a ripe apple, fruitful and fertile.
Plump? Fertile? Oh, thanks very much. That'll just scare men off, sweet. He's trying. It's a distraction for him. For me too, in lieu of better and brighter days. I'd like to get out someday. Even if I could leave right now, I wouldn't. He's kind. They need us. To believe. To remember. To fight. This is all they have. These fields and forests and mountains. They've nowhere else to go. The world out there is not for them.
Here will soon be no more. My people are abandoning our sacred lands, leaving only the dead to go to Earth and the disease to spread. The power of the forest is on the wane, and a shadow falls over us all.
This has always been a special place. A place of strong magic. I've run with fairies since I could run. The forest people protected us as long as we left their lands alone. It was the law. The Strigoi, the bloodsuckers, they don't respect the law.
There is a dark and infinitely malevolent force behind this siege. It is a ruse concealing some fearful machinery restarted. It brings forth memories of dark times befalling us countless seasons ago, and of those who rose up against the endless night. The dragon, the eagle, the owl.
Oh, I've heard this story also from my mom. She used to sing a beautiful song. La 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 la. I'm afraid I wouldn't know how to sing it in English. On karaoke night, I just listen. Everyone's okay with that.
The forces of darkness are stronger than ever, and those who stand against them are weakened by centuries and forgetfulness, bitterness, and the embrace of the grave. No matter how many of you there are, with your modern magic and your steel weapons, you cannot defeat this evil. Not without their help.
The owl, the eagle, and the dragon? The dragons died a long time ago. Eagles, there are plenty of up in the mountains, but none here. Owls, though, I've seen owls. There's one in particular I see often in the village. He hoots at me. I think it's a friendly owl. So, what do you have so far? Her bosom soft as... Oh, sweet. There's just no way I'm filling your mug again.
Salute. It is good to be friends with the butcher.
The Lady Sophie called me Cern in jest, but I do not have a name. I am Cernunnos and Faunus, the Horned God and the Green Man. I am the Sorcerer, and I am neither of them. I am simply of the forest, and I am the forest. Without the forest and the people in it, of course, I am nothing. So I spend my days here, drowning my sorrows and my memories, while our lands are ravaged by abominations. Where will I go? What will I do if the forest vanishes? Will I vanish with it, or be left to wander the bleak lands in disguise for another 1,000 years, shamed by my failure to save my people? Then I will choose death, if I can die. And if not, I shall choose exile to another world beyond this one, and none may know my shame. The Lady Sophie came to my forest when she was a child, uninvited. She stepped into places protected by law, and she was in danger. But I came to her and I offered her my protection. Only after did I realize that she did not need it. She belonged there by law, in the forest. I do not think she believes it herself, though I try to tell her that she is different. She's not only human. She has other blood in her, stranger and older blood, of tribes that have left these earthly forests for other places. Gods themselves of sorts. What you may call fairies, yes, but not the ones you meet today, the ones who were able to blend in with humans. They were taller and fairer, the ones who walked here ages ago. There are few left. Like all of us, eventually they move on. Sophie, she is half this, half that. But she will tell you her mother and father, they're both human. Perhaps, yes, this is... but still she is what she is. More than one of you. Much, much more. An infection steals my forest away. Things that grow, but not naturally. A cancer on the land. One that moves and spreads ever further. It comes from below. Through water that once gave the forest life, now tainted and corrupt. It is a filth that doesn't wash off, and it infects all things that live. I fled before it because I feared it, and I fear it because I have never before seen it. Soon it might swallow my forest and these lands whole. The vampires, they serve it, but they will drown too. They are stupid and do not see farther than their next mouthful of blood. I have failed in protecting my land and my people. But will it matter? Soon the sun itself will go black and then nothing can save my land. Or yours. Should you ask me how long I have been here, I cannot answer. Perhaps for all time. Perhaps 1,000 years or 100, but no, longer than that, I think, because I remember many things. I remember a battle long ago between the three, the owl, the eagle, the dragon, and the mother of demons and her servants. I played a part in that, I think, but not an important one. The forest didn't remain impartial. We took sides, as we sometimes do. To merely exist and observe is to be cowardly, I believe, and more dangerous than taking the wrong side. There's been peace for a long time now. I know that. I am grown weak, or at least weakened. We have allowed our forest to fall into a slumber when we should have stayed awake and alert. Maybe things would have been different. Maybe we would have sensed her return. She is back. I feel her. The mother of demons, the queen of vampires. And she hates us all with a burning passion. She wants us all destroyed. For what reason? That I do not know. The unclean ones, the vampires, werewolves, ghouls, they are dangerous to us, yes, but them we can smell. The others, the human ones, they are harder to see. They have taken this opportunity to hunt us and butcher the children of the forest. They're human, yes, but they do not recognize any law, and they are untouched by any humanity. So how do we reason with them? How do we plead our case? We can only fight back. But few of us are able to or know how to. And every day there are less of us.
What's the matter, sweet?
Another of my limbs ravaged, amputated. They are savage butchers, the vampires, and they have no care for this earth. They only want to see it destroyed. For what purpose? What will be left for them to rule over? Ashes.
It's been like this since the Dark Crusade began. For all of us. But for them in particular. The forest folk feel the intrusion and the destruction like it's part of them being torn off. I don't think they act with any thought, the Strigoi. They don't have a vision for a world after their war. They only want to feed on us until there's nothing left.
Then let them try. They will find no nourishment in my veins, only pain and death. Every part of me is the opposite of them, and I am